James Cockman, World News Report today. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Homan and ICE and probably the National Guard are headed to Chicago to go to war. Quote unquote. Let's see what they have to say. We have 3 separate videos or interviews with Tom from this morning. They'll be heading out tomorrow. Prepare yourself, Chicago, because if you're going to do some crime, you're going to do some time. If you're there illegally, we're going to drop you off in Zimbabwe.
Look, I think it's worth being taken out of context. If I say we're going to war with the criminal cartels. We're going to war with illegal aliens, public safety threats that rape children, that raped citizens, that committed armed robberies, that distribute narcotics that kill Americans. We're at war with the criminal cartels, and Governor Pritzker protects criminal, illegal alien, public safety threats every day in that state, along with Mayor Johnson. We proved that. The first week of the administration, I went to Chicago. I started an operation there. The first day, we arrested 9 sexual predators, most of them child rapists. We arrested 9 members of TDA. Several of those TDA members had a pistol, an illegal pistol with a switch on it, which makes that pistol fully automatic. We arrested 2 illegal aliens that had a homicide conviction. That was the first day in Chicago. So, President Trump and this administration, we're at war with the criminal cartels and those who want to murder and rape the American citizens. You're damn right.
From Jake Tapper over at CNN, jump over to Jason Chavez, sitting in for Maria Bartiromo, Sunday Morning Futures. These are epic. Get ready, Chicago. They'll be there in the morning.
President Trump, who's one strong president, he proves every day why he's the greatest president in my lifetime. He's a strong president. He's keeping his foot on the gas. He's not letting up. And so be the men and women of ICE and the men and women of the Border Patrol. Today, Jason, we have the most secure border in the history of this nation right now because of President Trump's leadership and the men and women of the Border Patrol. But we also have the most secure border in history because of the work of ICE. ICE is sending a message to the whole world that there are consequences for entering the country illegally. There are consequences for being here illegally. And there are consequences, especially for being here illegally and committing crimes. So ICE is focusing on public safety threats. And I looked at the numbers this morning. 70% of everybody ICE arresting is a criminal. The other 30% are gang members who don't have criminal histories, national security threats. We're arresting them by the thousands, and those will final orders. They had due process at great taxpayer expense. A federal judge ordered them removed. They become fugitives. We're looking for them, too. So how do we send that message? We send the message by looking at the numbers again this morning. We got a historic number of prosecutions for 111. That is impediment, assault, interference. So if they cross that line, you throw a stone, you're going to jail. You put hands on an ICE officer, you're going to jail. You make a threat, either online or in person, you're going to jail. And President Trump has made it clear to me over a month ago, 0 tolerance. You cross that line and move from a protester to a criminal, 0 tolerance. You will be prosecuted. And Pam Bondi has got all the U.S. attorneys across the nations on board. They will not decline these prosecutions. So my warning to them, you can protest all you want. Exercise your First Amendment rights. You cross that line, you're going to jail.
And I will say that he claims 1.5 million people have either been deported or have left on their own thus far. Well, that's not a huge amount of folks, considering that we guesstimate that we have around 40 million illegal aliens here in the U.S., plus or minus. Let's listen to another interview with Tom, who, by the way, again, will be in Chicago with ICE, followed by the National Guard, starting tomorrow, Monday. Enjoy the show, because it's bound to get ugly in Chicago. Before we watch that final Homan video, let's remember where they're all headed. Eswatini. That's right, Eswatini, Africa. Should be fun. They decided to cut us the very best deal for each deportation that we decided to leave there. And I know that they'll treat them right, if you know what I mean. It's going to be a fun time. I'm sure that, El Salvadorian gentleman's already having a heck of a time. I'm sure Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is enjoying all the wonderful hospitality that Eswatini has to offer, including their, I'm sure, extensive social programs. Hopefully he'll be able to, well, make the best of it. My best wishes to him. I hope he enjoyed the ride and is, well, finding a home for himself there. Although my guess is, if you watch his girlfriend's house, he'll be walking through the door in just a week or two. And finally, we'll wrap it up with this last part of the interview with at Real Tom Homan. Talks about the 1.5 million people that have either left on their own or been deported thus far. That number needs to be, well, multiplied by 30. Let's listen.
One of the things we're doing, Jason, that no one's talking about, is that, there's been several studies done so far this year that over 1.5 million illegal aliens have left this country. And why have they left this country? Because of President Trump and his policies. Like I said a few minutes ago, we're showing the world there's consequences. Every day the world sees over 1,000 ICE teams on the street enforcing the law, applying consequences. It's a crime to enter this country illegally. And when you get order removed by a federal judge, we're looking for you. And if you're in the country illegally, maybe you haven't been order removed, but you're in the country illegally, we're looking for you too. So this message we send to the whole world is a big part of the reason we have the most secure border in the history of this nation, and people don't want to make that journey, make the risk. And also, it's forcing illegal aliens to make a choice. Do you want to be sought out and arrested by ICE and be formally deported, which means you can't come back in the country under certain statutory bars from 5 years to never? Or do you want to leave on your own and give yourself an opportunity to come back under a legal program as a visitor visa, work visa, maybe have a U.S. citizen child that can petition from you? So over 1.5 million illegal aliens already left. On count of the probably close to 400,000 deportations we're going to do by the end of this fiscal year. Well, this is amazing. It's unprecedented, and it's because of the leadership of this president.
So he's talking about 1.5 deporting themselves, and he's guesstimated that he's deported about 275,000 people via ICE thus far, which is nothing, and he's shooting for 400,000 by year's end. Well, in 4 years, that will only be 1.6 million people out of the 40 million people. We've got to step it up, guys. Remember, there's going to be so many cars for sale at your local sheriff's department for pennies on the dollar. Apartment housing prices are about to drop in half. All the Section 8s will be available to American citizens that need them again, because that has just been cleaned up or will have been cleaned up within the next 30 days. And we can thank President Trump, Tom Homan, and the rest of the administration for those items for sure. God bless, guys. Stay safe and stay legal. Share, subscribe, and always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world.